It has been a long time coming, but I'm finally working on the diesel again. It's, well, I don't know, one of those things, keep jumping on and off different projects and racing, which I've uploaded a few videos of. I should explain that a bit more, but I never really intended to upload the racing videos. It was more of a happy accident that I ended up listing one as public, not private. But there she is. I got as far as organising all this stuff, and then it started raining and I hastily shoved it all away. But yeah, we shall unearth all the crap and devise a cunning plan. Started unearthing bits and pieces, painted the anti-roll bar, a couple of other bits, and now I'm going to do the heat shield and the manifold. Again, these are not like super amazing quality jobs because it will burn off again, but it'll at least look pretty for a while. So that's just been wire brushed as that, or it will be shortly, and then I've got some VHT silver. This is really satisfying to do. It's such highly pigmented paint. It just comes out super shiny. In fact, it's so shiny and chromy that in the past, when I've been trying to re-silver lamp units, the chrome paint you buy is rubbish most of the time. This, bizarrely, silver VHT, I would say is shinier than the chrome paints I've bought, the specialist chrome paints. So yeah, I might give this a go in the future on light clusters, back of headlights, stuff like that. God, that does look good. It's the World Cup final, women's football, so I might go and watch that in a minute. But in other news, that is the much better, much nicer turbo to sump drain to replace that one, because this one had a hole in it and the braiding was going. Just been cleaning the turbo up with the wire wheel. I'll fit that new stud and clean up and get rid of the remains of that old gasket. Then that's ready, and really after that it's cleaning up the engine bay and fitting all my nice new shiny bits. Can't remember whether I showed any of this or not, but basically I had a whole load of bits and pieces in the engine bay cleaned up and repassivated. So that is not paint, that is actually zinc passivate done in the correct colours. The inlet was vapor blasted. The cam covers, or each individual cylinder head cover, and the top water rail as well. So nice shiny bits, and they're not off this engine, they're off my spare engine. So I've got some strip down to do with that first before it can all go on, and I'll clean up that engine and engine bay generally. There's no point painting it, but it does want to wipe down, get some of that oil off it. I have done some more painting of bits and pieces, and now I am just checking all of the studs and things for the manifold. I've got one that doesn't want to go back in. Need to chase that hole out. I think it's M8. Here it is. So just cleaning things up. I'm going to remove or drain the remainder of the coolant, then remove all of the bits of the top of the engine that I have now had titivated. They are all out here. So that should be quite a satisfying job to do, as long as nothing breaks, everything comes apart okay. And I've bought myself a gasket kit as well, because I needed some. It came with the actual head gaskets, I don't need those, but I do need all of the exhaust and inlet manifold and coolant rail jobbies. And there's the old one, and there is the nice shiny new one. I also have the housing somewhere. I know that was it's in there. So that's going to go on. Still got its little sensor in. I'll show you what it has revealed. So these are the individual cylinder heads, the 4 of them, and there's a lot of crap and dust and debris. So as I'm undoing things, I'm wire brushing it, brooming it, and then hoovering it with my George Hoover, which I've repaired and now has super suction power. Another before and after. There's an old Kiln Crocs engine cover versus a nice shiny new one. So that one, I think that one's that one. But you get the idea. Nice and shiny. What else am I doing? Just more of that. Gonna undo the fuel rail off the other side. Got that engine mount redone as well, so I'll swap that. And then I'll degrease all of this, put the new covers and gaskets on, then I could do the water rail, then the inlet exhaust turbo, clean off the side of the engine, start putting things back in. Shiny. It's going to make such a difference to the engine bay. They're the new gaskets. They're quite different to the old ones. The old ones were real thin jobbies. These are like more conventional gasket material. I've cleaned off the top of the cam, the heads where the cam covers go on. I've also removed the injector fuel rail and all of the clamps because they're being replaced too. So now these will, is it that way around? Can't tell. No, it is that way around. Yeah, they can go on, and then I can fit my new cam covers and feel smug if that will go on. That is. This might be a two-handed job. It was going rather well, but then I realised something. The old cam covers I took off, the last one had a funny bolt on it, and I never knew why. I've worked out why. The top of that threaded section there is damaged, which means that this doesn't reach down far enough to engage on it. So I am going to have to try and find another solution of how to clamp that last one down. I might have to just go back and use the weird bolt that was on there before, or find something similar. The other option is I weld another collar onto this and then tap it out the right size, but that would be tricky, so I'm ignoring that for the moment, and instead I'm replacing my injector clamps. So these are the old crusty rusty ones. So these are they've been blasted and then zinc passivated, so they go on like so, and then I'll do those up nice and tight. I think I've got some better nuts somewhere hidden away. That one's all right, that can be reused. That one just wants a clean, but that one's rusty and that one's rusty. And then I'll probably reuse these spring washers because I know they're the right sort for this application. How good does that look? It's going to look even better in a minute when that goes on. And that P-clip was missing on my car originally, and that would have supported that pipe there for the, that's the vacuum pump, and that's the vacuum line up to the brake servo. So yeah, pretty important to have that supported and not splitting. That's pretty satisfying. That's all in there. Trouble is, having a few shiny bits makes all the other bits look really crappy. So it would have been nice to have done all of the linkage on the pump, but meh, can't be bothered. It's not going to happen now. I'm still trying to work out how to remedy this situation. I could try and separate that gasket and make the whole gasket height lower, but yeah, it's just going to look odd. So I think I'm going to have to try and find a way of extending that, or just replacing it. Probably just explain that in another video momentarily earlier, but never mind. More shiny loveliness going on. I just replaced the little seals, put the studs back in, the ones that weren't very happy. excellent. That goes in there. Need to refit the plug. There's little copper washers that go on each of these, then the plain nuts. Fit the new housing on the end, for which I have a new gasket. I think it's either that one or that one. That one. Annoyingly, that's where I'm going to have to leave it for today. Had hoped to get a bit further, but yeah, other things to do. So I'll upload this, and in the next few weeks, hopefully we'll have all the front back together again, which would be nice. Then the car can go on the ground, then I can do the wax oiling, fit the sound deadening, fit the interior, fit the glass, sunroof, and we won't be so far away. Postscript, I couldn't help myself. It was getting on towards the evening and I came down again and did a tiny bit more titivating. The paint gone off on there, so I fitted my new studs, new gasket, copper nuts on there, a new stud in here, and then I've just balanced that on. It's not bolted up yet. I need to get some more M8 copper nuts for the manifold, and I also want to have this flexible so that I can get the the drain on properly and the engine mount, because I can't remember what order to do it, whether I took the manifold off first or the other bits and pieces. So I will leave it like that, things to turn up in the week, and then hopefully next weekend carry on.